Alright, so I just beat Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition on the PS5 on Devil Hunter mode. So, like the one right above, I guess, the normal one. And man, I love this game. So, I'm a big Devil May Cry fan. I got into the series in 2023. And since then, it is like my top series. Like, if I had to rank my top series right now, it would be Sonic, Yakuza, and Devil May Cry. Those are like my three faves. And obviously, I beat this game back then, and I've always wanted to revisit it. I've revisited it a couple times. I've never really done another full playthrough. The footage you're seeing right now is the Virgil on whatever the hardest difficulty is. After it's some weird long name. I didn't beat it on this version yet, but I do want to at some point. Not anytime soon. But I just wanted to run through the main game because I'm in like a bit of a Devil May Cry mood with the anime coming out and everything, which I'm not the biggest fan of, which I know is a hot debate. I don't care to have that discussion, but just because of everyone sort of talking about it and stuff, I've been in the mood for it. So, I bought the collection on PlayStation. I was playing through Devil May Cry 1 and 3, and I do want to play 4 and stuff like that, but I really wanted to come back to 5, because I think 5 is like, it's so good, dude. I think my favorite is still 3, and I think it will always be 3. I think 3 just sort of does, like, even though I think the gameplay is probably the best in 5, I mean, I don't know, it's really good in 4, too. I don't know, it feels weird ranking them, but I think my favorite will always be 3. But, man, I love Devil May Cry 5. This is a game that I'll always recommend to people. Obviously, I recommend the whole series to people, and I wish that they would play the whole series. Obviously, a lot of people start from 5, which I think you're doing the service I think you're doing the series a disservice, but because I think that 5 really rewards you, right? You play 1, maybe 2. I've never beaten 2, but I've gotten like a couple hours into it. I don't care enough to. Like, I've seen enough of it. I know it's not too consequential. You know what I mean? But you play 3, 1, 4, and then 5 is sort of like this payoff that sort of rewards you. And if you don't play the whole series, it's still a great game. Like, the combat is some of the best in gaming, like, seriously. But working your way through the whole series is just, it feels so good. And obviously Virgil is amazing, and this game has sort of gotten abused by the internet. Like the whole storm is approaching, lawn chair, stupid memes over and over and over again. And while I don't hate them, it does get a little tiring, and I think takes away from how great this game actually is. And it sort of just really makes me want a Devil May Cry 6. I don't know what they're going to do with it. Obviously, at least from the looks of it, without spoiling anything, it looks like it's going to be based on Nero, or maybe someone else that they maybe introduce. I would love to see Kirie again. I'm one of the few people probably who likes Kirie and Nero's relationship. I mean, I don't think people hate it, but I actually really do like it. I think it's a sweet moment. I really actually do like Devil May Cry 4. I know a lot of people don't like it because it's sort of like the same game. Like, you play it, like half of it is you going one way, and then half of it is sort of retracing your steps or whatever. But I don't care. I like it. I think Nero in Devil May Cry 4 is... you could debate that's the best at the gameplay of the whole series. Like, I think he just feels so good, and obviously he feels great here as well. But I'm getting off on a tangent here. If there was a Devil May Cry 6, I would love to see Kirie in some way and sort of get more of Nero, because I love Nero as much as I do love Dante and stuff like that. I actually really like Nero. He's one of my favorite characters by far. But going back to 5, I mean, it's so hard to talk about. Like, if I do, there is actually some complaints I have, right? So, and this goes for the anime as well, is I don't like how the series has abandoned its aesthetics a little bit. So if you look at Devil May Cry 1, 2, and 3, it has this very, like, dark, gothic architecture, and the music has, like, there's choirs, and, like, along with the edgy rock music and stuff like that, there is, like, these choir songs that play alongside of it, and it's this very unique aesthetic that was unique to Devil May Cry. And I think that from 5 to since, that has sort of been forgotten a little bit. Obviously, I love 5. I think Nero's song and Virgil's song and Dante's song and even V's song are all great, but Devil's Never Cry is like still peak. And I think that in Devil May Cry 4, the opening to that song, or the opening to that game is so good. And music aside, that also extends to like the architecture. Obviously, the building I'm in right now is sort of, stylized a little bit, but it sort of just looks like you're in modern day. Which I guess Devil May Cry 3 did as well, but there was sort of like these arches and almost like Gorgile type, like almost like you're in like a cathedral. I wish that was still sort of a thing. If you go back to when I was outside in the footage earlier, you'll see like sort of just looked like I was in New York. And while that isn't a problem, I do think the atmosphere that it sets in Devil May Cry 1 and 3 specifically is like unmatched with that sort of you can definitely see the Resident Evil roots a little bit. And I think that has sort of been lost a little bit. And it's not, that's sort of, I think, a me thing. That's not something I've actually seen really anybody else talk about, but it is something I sort of wish would return a little bit. And it doesn't mean it's completely gone. There's a scene later on. Sorry, I was trying to spoil it. I almost just spoiled something. With Nero, where there is sort of like that choir, like orchestral stuff that comes back, but it's not really a focus anymore, and it kind of makes me sad because I think that, like I said, 1 and 3 just set this vibe that is so unique to the series. And while the music in Devil May Cry 5 and onward is great, it is something I do kind of miss a little bit. The gameplay, coming back to this is a game, and I think the whole series is like this, because the games aren't very long. I think it took me about 10 hours this playthrough to beat it. Really rewards multiple playthroughs, and it rewards you delving into the combat systems and learning each individual weapons and upgrading and trying out things you usually wouldn't try before. Because my first playthrough, I pretty much only ever just used one weapon and, whatever I was most comfortable with. But really branching out and trying to get like these long air combos, stuff like that, was really fun, even though at first it can be a little daunting and uncomfortable. And I think this game, out of all of them, probably rewards you the most. I know a lot of people obviously love 3 with how difficult it can be, but I think that 4 is just, I think 5 just, it's so smooth, like everything just works. And that doesn't say it doesn't work in 3 or any of the other games. I think it's just, here it is like modernized, and it is just like very accessible, and it just makes it very satisfying. Obviously, I'm a 3 lover. I love Devil May Cry 3. I think I'm pretty good at Devil May Cry 3. But I do see the sort of jank that does kind of exist with those old sort of PS2 games, and I think that if you're recommending the series to somebody, they're probably going to enjoy 5 the most. And I don't know, I need to replay all the games again. I've only played Devil May Cry 3 all the way through twice, but I've sort of come back to it and played it here and there. I need to like marathon the games and sort of like refresh my memory and how I'm feeling with everything. But yeah, I think that's kind of all I have to say. This game is fucking amazing. The series is so near and dear to my heart. I will always love this series, and I'm sure with the success of the anime, we're going to get more content in the future. Even if I don't love the anime, I'm just at least glad there's attention being brought to the series. And if the Devil May Cry 1 remake is real, I'm very excited for that, because Capcom has shown before that they are very capable of making a remake, even if it doesn't match the game 1-to-1. Just more Devil May Cry gameplay is what I need. Obviously, stuff like Ninja Gaiden and Bayonetta and stuff like that are good substitutes, but they don't really scratch that itch. Like, I think Devil May Cry has stuck and become an icon because it just gets it right and does it better than everybody else. Like, obviously, I love God of War and, like I said, Ninja Gaiden, but Devil May Cry really just nails it, and hopefully we'll see more of that. So yeah, game's amazing. That's about it.